Welcome to Bourbon School. I'm Brian, and today I'm going to do a little sequel to a video we did a few months back. It was a bourbon TikTok show me list, and I found another one, so I'm going to run through that list and give you my picks for each category coming up next. Okay guys, so I looked back because I had to go back and watch the old video to make sure that we weren't repeating categories. Lauren and I did a video. I had found this TikTok where it was like, okay, bourbon TikTok, show me the bottle you always recommend. Show me the bottle that you couldn't wait to open. And it was this whole list. So Lauren and I went through and kind of did a YouTube video based on this TikTok list. So I found another one since then that's a little longer. It's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles. So I thought this was kind of an interesting list. And so I figured I'd go through and give my picks for each category. The first one on this was your go-to daily pour. And so I thought a little bit about this. I didn't necessarily want to go with like a warm-up pour because I don't always have a warm-up pour. I thought about like what is a bottle that I like if I'm just looking to have a pour for the night, what's the one I'm most likely going to grab? And so I went with a Knob Creek single barrel. Now this could be a single barrel reserve, which has the white and brown label, or it could be one of these, a single barrel select. You'll notice that this one's empty right now. I am without a Knob Creek single barrel. So I actually, one of our local shops up north of us, Elma Wine and Liquor, just put out a form for ordering their pick. So they've got a Knob Creek pick coming, so I'm going to grab one. But I would say this is probably my daily pour. I like the proof. It's always consistently good. And I feel like if you're kind of in a mood where you're like, I don't really know what I want, Knob Creek's never going to disappoint you. It's always going to fit the bill. So my go-to daily pour would be a Knob Creek single barrel. Okay, the next one was the most recent bottle you added to your collection. And I actually had a pretty good weekend this weekend. We had a couple of picks come out that we had done. And there was a raffle, or I guess you'd call it a raffle, an allocated raffle that I won a couple bottles in. So I actually got quite a few bottles. But the last bottle I bought this past weekend was the Jim Beam Winter Reserve. I made a TikTok or a short a while back about getting fooled by some of these Jim Beam bottles and how they, you know, you get excited. Like I got excited for the Jim Beam Black 7-year, and then I tried it and was disappointed. This one totally was like right up my alley. It's notes of vanilla and cinnamon, Winter Reserve. And even though it was 86 proof, I had to get one, so I went and got it. Jury is still out. Maria and I each had a pour. It's good. I think it drinks a lot smoother than Jim Beam. I want to get into it a couple more times before I really decide. I don't feel like I got the vanilla and cinnamon notes, but I'm still going to give it a chance, and hopefully they come through. But for 25 bucks, I mean, everybody should be adding this to collection. But definitely reviews to come on this one once I get into it a little more. So, but that's my latest bottle, is my Jim Beam Winter Reserve. All right. The next category was your weirdest bottle that you have, but it's still good. So I went with the Same Old Moses double-barreled straight rye whiskey. And this is an Amarone finished, which is, Amarone is like a dark red wine, as far as I can tell. This is a wild bottle. It is, it's got kind of a bitter finish, but not like in a bad way. You still get the rye and you still do get some sweetness from the whiskey, but it's got a bitter finish, almost like you've had a cocktail with Campari in it or something. This is a neat bottle. I like this one a whole lot. It's super dark. I mean, you can see how dark it is. It's almost like black coffee. But this is a neat bottle. And I really wish we could get this on the regular. Same Old Moses is out in Oklahoma. and unfortunately we can't purchase it in New York. They were nice enough to send us a couple of bottles, and we will have reviews coming up, and hopefully in the future we're going to stream with the folks at Wonderful Spirits who make the Same Old Moses. But that's my weirdest bottle, but it is a very, very good bottle. Okay, the next one on the TikTok, and just so you know, in the last time I did this video, I talked about how I would have stitched in the TikTok so you could see it. And at the time, the reason I didn't is because I didn't know how to do that. I still don't know how to do it. So I can't stitch in the TikTok, but I'll just tell you, if you go on TikTok and you look up, like you search for like Bourbon Show Me, all these videos will come up and you can see examples of them. But I'm technically illiterate, so I mean, I'm lucky enough to be able to like film and edit these videos. So that's about pushing the limits of my abilities. So anyway, one bottle most others won't have. So this was another one I got this weekend. It's a Stag 24A. You can see it's not even opened yet. But this is the latest release of Stag. I know a lot of people are searching for this, and I know that Stag in general can be a little tougher to find. So I would say most people wouldn't have this yet. But, you know, now that the holiday season, the allocation season is here and the holidays are coming up, and a lot of stores are going to be having, you know, events, raffles, allocated, you know, sales. I'm sure more people are going to come up with this, but I would say probably most people don't have this, because I know on our Facebook page, on other Facebook pages I'm on, and just kind of when you see people's comments on YouTube and other posts, they are looking for this. So that's my bottle that most people wouldn't have at this point, a Stag 24A. Okay, this is the only bottle I don't have. The next one is the bottle that started it all. And for me, and I don't want to say I don't like this bottle anymore. It really is a nostalgic bottle for me. It's the bottle that probably was the one that I drank before anything else. In our first trip to Kentucky, I really loved going to the distillery, and that would just be standard Woodford Reserve. So I'll put one right here. But Woodford Reserve, it was the bottle that started it for me. Before Maker's Mark, before Buffalo Trace, Woodford was my go-to. I would always have a bottle of Woodford. And back in the days when I just started drinking bourbon, I only had 1 or 2 bottles at a time. Most of the time it was just one. And I would say 90% of that time it was a bottle of Woodford Reserve. So Woodford is definitely the bottle that started it all. I fell in love with the distillery. I drank a lot of it when I first started into bourbon, and I shouldn't say I don't like it now. I've just kind of moved on to so many other bottles that Woodford for me, I usually keep a, you know, lower proof, 90-ish proof bottle on the shelf. And right now that's been Elijah Craig. I've got an Elijah Craig and a Buffalo Trace, and I don't really need to go get a Woodford. But, you know, next time around when I'm ready, when I need to buy like a lower proof bottle just to have one on the shelf for a guest or for mixing or what have you, it might be a Woodford. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't buy it again. I just don't have one now, but it's definitely the bottle that got me started on bourbon for sure. Okay, next is most expensive and least expensive. Okay, so my most expensive bottle is this one. Now, you know, on our channel, we don't really go higher than $100. And this is right at the limit. This is an Old Forester single barrel strength. This was a pick made by our friends Deb and Brian at Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts for a liquor store up in Buffalo called Cordially Yours Wine and Spirits. And they did a fun tater sticker it's called Banana Blitz, because it does really have a strong banana note, and it's got the buffalo with the Bills colors on it. But this bottle came in at $99.99. So that is the, you know, limit for us. So I'm not gonna have a bottle that's over $100. So that's as high as it goes. So that's my most expensive bottle. Haven't even opened it yet. I've got 2 others open back here, so I'm gonna wait on this one. But I did try it at the store, and it's delicious. My least expensive bottle, and I was kind of torn. I did have Ancient Age out here. but I actually think Ancient Age might be a little more expensive than the JW Dant. But I'll put it up here. Maybe you guys can, just in the short research I did not buy this one. I bought this one and it was like $21 or something. So I know JW Dant is really cheap. From what I can see online, this one is more like $25, $26. But if you get it cheaper than that around you, maybe this is the cheapest, but it's definitely one of these two. So either my JW Dant or my Ancient Age. And the nice thing about these is they're in the low to mid 20s and they're a liter and they're pretty good bottles. Now this one's only 80 proof. So I would say you're getting more bang for your buck with this one because the JW Dant is bottled in bond. But these are probably the cheapest bottles I have on my shelf, and I'll probably, maybe we'll do a review of the Ancient Age. I don't know if I'm gonna love it, but we'll give it a fair shake, but that'll hopefully be coming up in the next few weeks. Okay, the last category on this TikTok was bottles you are most proud to own. And for me, again, we don't really go for highly allocated, hard to find bottles. I don't go searching for them. I just, like my CYPB, I ended up getting in a raffle and it was a decent price. So we don't really swim in those waters where I'm going to have a real prestigious bottle to show off to people. So for me, my proudest bottles to own are our picks. We have been super, super lucky and fortunate to have good relationships with Herman up at Midnight Liquors and Kathy down here at Sheridan Wine and Liquors. And they've been so generous in allowing us to take part in their store picks. And so, and these aren't even all of them, but these are just the ones that I happen to have on the shelf right now. It's just been so much fun. Marie-Ann and I have been able to participate in several, probably there's 4 here, 5, 6, probably about a dozen picks at this point, maybe 10. But we've had the good fortune to be able to participate in a lot of picks. And we've had a couple of stores who have been really trusting of our palates and, you know, let us recommend what we think would be the best one for their store. And so far, they've all turned out really, really well. I love being able to participate in the picks. It feels great when they come in and people buy them and they're like, wow, this is a great bottle. It just makes you feel good that like you're doing something right and you get to put your name on it. You know, we've been able to put our stickers on these bottles and say they're selected by Bourbon School. We've got neck tags that have our name on them and tater stickers that Brian Fisher from Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts made that have our logo on them. So it's been really fun, and these are the proudest bottles I own. Or the bottles I'm most proud to own because these were ones that we picked and that we had input in deciding what went on the shelf. So, and that's been a great experience doing all that. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's my list that goes along with this TikTok Show Me list. And I would love if some of our friends out there on the YouTubes would make a video to kind of give us your own picks. I did tag a bunch of people last time and 0 of you made a video. So I expect at least 1 or 2 of you to make one this time around. I think it's a fun list and it's kind of cool to see what everybody's picks are. So let us know down in the comments, guys, what are some of your picks for some of these categories? And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another episode of Bourbon School. Cheers, thanks for watching, guys.